Hey, back again, out on my bike. This time I'm with my mate Glenn. I think I introduced you to him on a few videos prior. So today he's going to talk about some of the local area. We're just going on a local ride round all the trails and that. And Glenn's lived here for a long time and he knows every trail known to man. And he's got some fantastic nostalgic childhood memories that he likes talking about. And I don't know if you noticed on the last video, he rides with one leg, a prosthetic limb. What's it called, Glenn?
Bartlett
Tendon. A Bartlett Tendon. So I'll get him to talk about all that and his journey over time of how he lost his leg and how he found his motivation to get out and ride his bikes and stuff like that. And I'll tell you the story how we met. So see you in a minute. So we're heading up the golf course now. This is actually classed as a byway, which means I think you can take motor vehicles up and down. Not that I've seen any. I mean, why would you want to drive your car up here? I don't think it would fit. Motorbike, I suppose. Oh. You alright?
Yeah.
Is the horse alright?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll let you pass.
Thank you.
You alright?
So we've just come up the sandy Lonnon, which is like it's like an off-road trail coming up the Wagtail Lane, where I believe if Lee turns around and has a look at these windmills here, I call them windmills, they're not, the wind turbines. I think these were 6 of the biggest in Europe at the time. So at the bottom of the sandy Lonnon, there's a boat place called River Boats. It's been there for as long as I can remember. And there's a house next to it called Rescue Station House. So I'm not quite sure of the history, but obviously it must have been something to do with rescuing. It's quite weird because we're quite inland from the coast. So River Boats, to be in this far inland and making, I think they used to make like fiberglass boats. But we've just come up past South Moor Golf Club, which is a really well kept golf club. I've never played on it, but it looks kind of hard to play on because it's on a hill. So we've climbed right up, and this is what we call Wagtail Lane. So all these is like our local loops. Lovely up here, but this road's quite busy, so you've got to watch when you're cycling. So I'm thinking about taking Lee down. I don't know if he's ever been down this way. It's on the road, which we don't really ride roads, but we're going to go down the road into Homeside, and then from there we'll figure out where we're going to go.
Right, so in Chapman's Nature Reserve. That's what I call it. I think that's the official term. I don't know what the nickname is. Must have chucked it down last night. Look at all these puddles. See that pond up there? Is that a natural pond, is it?
No, it's man-made.
Right, man-made.
That man, somebody smashed the fence down.
Yeah.
Why do they think that like?
I don't know. Does it not fall down in the wind or something?
Well, it looks like that's new wood there. I mean, it's kind of sturdy, that like. So where I used to live at Mitchell Street, there used to be some really big, tall slag heaps off the old mines, off the pit heaps and stuff we used to call them. They were massive, and they used to slide down them in tin baths and bits of lino. And this kind of lakes just remind us we used to have a pond at the end of the street, and used to be up playing with my wellies on collecting newts and frogs. And you see a lot of baby frogs around here when it's time when they come out, when they've spawned. But very rare you see newts nowadays. And it's a lovely place. I think it's a man-made from when they did the nature reserve. So you get a lot of various sorts of birds come up, and it's a beautiful place because it's nice and quiet. You can hear the road going up towards Concert, what we used to call the new road. Because at one time there used to be no road there. You used to have to go up the Loud Bank. But it's one of my favourite places to come. You can see it's just really quiet.
Could bivvy over here, couldn't you?
What?
Not far enough from home though, is it? But I suppose if you wanted, yeah, if you just wanted to get out and you know, under the stars for a night. we'll come along this trail to have a look at this reservoir Glenn reckons exists, but he doesn't know where. I had a look on the map and you can see it. It's not a reservoir, it's like a pond, that's it there. See it? In fact, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know that's a pond. You could set your bivvy bag up in there and sink it without realising. But it's a lovely place. So found some woodland here, we're going to have a look and see what's there. Oh, good bivvy in there. Yeah, a bit close together, the trees. I like when they're all spaced out, when you've got plenty of room. And I like the surface when it's like flat, with leaves and that. Burnham football ground woodland, never heard of it. Doesn't look like a football ground to me, like. Oh, you know what? It has been. I can see goal posts. Look like they've been there 50 years. So me and Glenn are just about to go down this trail down to Lanchester, but it's a trail we both haven't been on for years. So I don't know how rideable it is. It's classed as a bridleway, like, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. When was the last time you came down?
Oh, years and years and years ago. I thought it was further along, so that just shows you how long ago it is.
So this, do you know Peth Bank? I don't know if you know the area. That's the way I normally go, but in the winter it's probably unrideable, but because it's a dry day, well, it's been raining last night, like, so we'll see what it's like. See at the bottom.
Hopefully there's no nettles.
I'm trying to say bloody hell, but I cannot. Yeah, that's worse than the last time I came down. It's extremely narrow. I don't think it's ever been like massively rideable, this. This is more like a footpath, isn't it, than a bridleway. I suppose if you had a load of bottle you could blast down here, but I haven't. Arms soft. Ah, it looks a bit better. Just about ride with one hand now on this terrain. It's widened a bit. Lovely down here. I should come down here more often. Usually I just go down on the road, but I hate going down on the road because I find it dangerous. But I suppose you could class this as dangerous if you fall off. I suppose better than being hit by a car, innit? Right, I'm gonna put the camera away because riding with one hand's probably not advisable. Yeah, I think I'll start coming down this way more often. Could have your wits about you coming down here though. This bit's not too bad now. Definitely improved. Imagine going up. Hard enough going down, never mind going up. You know what? I'm lost. So I have been down this trail quite a few times and I don't know what happened. I was so concentrating on the trail because it was getting really technical. I think I've took a wrong turn and I've ended up on a trail that's not even marked on the map. I can see that I've come off the actual bridleway and Glenn's waiting for us somewhere. I think I'm like half a mile off track. So anyway, lost again. The only thing is I'm having to go back on these trails uphill, which is fair enough, I suppose. I don't know how I made that mistake. When I get back on the bridleway, I'm gonna have a look on the map and see where it went wrong, or where I went wrong. It's amazing what mountain bikes will go over, isn't it? Just when you think I can't ride over that. So I'm backtracking now. I was too busy concentrating on my camera, trying to get some shots. Well, that's part of the adventure, isn't it? I'm back on track. I can see why I missed this, because all of this is overgrown, and the actual trail I was on, it was like a clear pathway to go on it. So I naturally just followed it. You wouldn't, I mean, you can't see this, can you? I'm surprised Glenn didn't go the wrong way either. And there's me with a Garmin. Nah, I don't think I'll go this way again. So I'm now at the Malton picnic site. I have no idea what happened there, like. So Glenn reckons he's waiting for us at the bottom of the bridleway, and I've got to the bottom eventually, if you can call it a bridleway, and he's not there, so I think he's come off course as well. So we're both lost. Did I tell you that he's wrote a book about what happened to him, you know, when he lost his leg? I'll get him to talk about it later. And it's just been released, and his book is called Lost to Be Found. What an apt name for this video. So here's Glenn. Well, we're lost, Glenn, but now we're found. Lost to be found.
The bloke with a map got lost.
So I was just telling people about your book and telling them it was called Lost to Be Found.
Lost to be found, aye.
Should I picture of this trip, man, on the front?
It's an ideal example, isn't it? Being lost to be found.
Well, we're on Lanchester Valley route. Sort of like a relief to get onto stuff like this, away from the roads and away from breaking your neck. I'm just thinking there about all the bikes I've had in my life. Not that many actually. My first bike was called a Super S. It was a bit like a mini chopper, and it was yellow. I had that for years, and then my mum actually felt sorry for us because I was playing around with my mates at the time who were on grifters and that by then, so she bought us a grifter, second hand. I think it was like a reddy orange, quite an unusual colour, not the normal colours you could get. And then I had that for right up until it got stolen. My dad left it in the garden, somebody stole it. And then I had, oh, that was it. I was at art college, and by the time I finished the course, which lasted 2 years, there was some sort of like delay with my grant. Back in the day when you got grants, and by the time I got the grant, when it came through, I had finished the course. So I spent the money on a bike. And the bike I had, that I had my eye on, oh, it was a brilliant bike at the time. It was called a Rally Technium Chill. Super light, well, I thought it was at the time. I hadn't rode a bike with, how many gears did it have? 21, maybe 18 gears, I can't remember. Had that for a few years. It was white, completely white. Had that for a few years, sold that. And then in my mid 20s, mid to late 20s, I had a Saracen, purple, Terra Tracks. I remember I wrote some music for this musical local theatre, and they paid us not much, like, but I spent the money on a bike. And then a few years later that got stolen. That was my pride and joy. And then I saved up every penny I had for over a year to buy a Rock Lobster Fuji Stout Light steel frame, and then I upgraded it as Sid forks. Oh, it was mint. But I sold that after a few years and bought myself a Merlin Malt 4. That was white, absolutely brilliant bike. And that's when 29ers came in, and I just had to have one. And I wanted a carbon one, and that is the bike you see on some of my other videos when I'm bike packing and that. I've had that 10 years now. In fact, I'm doing a restoration job on it at the minute, and I might make a video. Right, just wait for Glenn. And then my latest bike is the one I'm on now, which I love. So aye, now it's a bit long-winded, like. So what was your first bike, and what bikes did you have? Put them in the comments. Be interested to know.
Well, when I was really little, like, I don't know, probably around about 3-year-old, it didn't start on bikes. I started with, I had a little red tractor with a trailer, and it used to stay over at me nana and granddad's over at Homeside Terrace at Craghead. So that was when I first started off, like, with wheels, I would say. And I can remember having a Tonka dumper truck, but not one of these plastic ones, like an old-fashioned, the proper ones, a metal one. And then I think my earliest memories were probably going from like a little bike with stabilisers on, but I can't tell you what make it was. And then as I got older, I remember, I suppose the most popular bike I had was a grifter. Everybody had a grifter, either a grifter or a chopper. And I had a grifter. And we used to treat it like I used to treat it like a BMX, but I mean, it was obviously heavy. And it had the old Sturmey Archer gears, 3-speed. And the little toggle on it always used to snap, so you used to lose your gears. So you used to get an old spoke and stick it in and jam it into second gear. And well, I went miles and miles on that bike. And I had a little rally boxer when I was little. And I painted it up bright purple. I think I snapped the forks on it, doing tricks. And then I had Mum and Dad bought us a racer, bright red shiny racer. And I went all over on that. But I was coming down Crookgate Bank and a bus blew us off, and it kind of put us off riding for a little bit, if you like. And even to this day now, I hate going down big steep banks like at Lanchester. And flying down, I'm always cautious in case something knocks us off. And then from bikes, push bikes, obviously it was an evolution, wasn't it? The next thing was motorbikes when I was 16, which didn't go down well with my mum. My dad bought us this little Yamaha TI-80 Trails bike that was on the road. And I rode it for a little bit, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna paint it, so I took it all to bits, and it never got put back together. And my nana, my dad's mum, bless her, she gave us the deposit to go and buy this 50cc Suzuki, and it was brand new. But you'd be lucky if it did 30 mile an hour off a cliff. And I used to have to go through to Durham every day in the winter. Oh, it was freezing. And then when I passed, I think I passed my test, and I went and got a 125. I got a Yamaha RD 125. What an epic bike that was. And from there I got a 350. And then that was it for me, bikes, I suppose.
Incredible that you came down that sketchy trail. How did you do it?
Oh, well, it's easier for me to come down on my bike than walk. So I've just come down on my bike. That's where I always think. Sometimes I struggle to walk certain areas if I haven't got my bike, and I think, you know, if I had my bike, I'd be straight doing that. So Lee was talking about what happened with my leg. So when I was 27, I got a giant cell tumour in my knee. They took it out, and about 7 months later it returned. So they did a thing called limb salvage. And this is where I get like my username COTS. They put a COTS prosthesis into my leg. So it's like a big piece of surgical steel, and it replaced all the diseased bone. Unfortunately, over the years, this just kept getting infected. So I probably went over 10 years, and then an operation went wrong where they tried to remove my kneecap. So in the end, I just elected to have a above knee amputation. And from there, I always liked cycling. I wanted to get back into riding. And I'd been looking on YouTube and seen this guy riding with this amazing knee. So I got in touch with him, and long story short, ended up getting on a trial on the knee. First person in the UK, and then from there, I've just continued to ride with the knee and purchasing them when I can, and getting support off companies when I can to help with funding for it. So this is the latest Generation 3. It's called an Infinity. So it's a pretty good piece of kit.
just stopped. I just thought I'll tell you the story of how me and Glenn become mates. About 12 years ago, I would say. 12 years? 12? 12 years ago, aye. Me and Michelle were on Stanley High Street. I think we'd been to a card shop or something. And anyway, there was this bloke passed on a bike, and I was like amazed at the bike because it was, I think it was at the time the first fat bike I had seen, but it was made out of titanium and it had upside down suspension forks. And the bloke who was riding it looked like ultra cool and all that, and I was like, eh! And I thought he must be lost. He can't be from Stanley. You know, not that I'm putting Stanley down anywhere. I just thought he's not from around here because I'd never seen him before. And but when I looked again, like looked twice, I noticed he had like a prosthetic leg, and his leg looked like it was made out of the same material as his like top of the range bike. He was like all blended into one, like a bit like RoboCop kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I was like, I couldn't get over it. Me and Michelle just looked at each other, like couldn't believe what I'd just seen. And he was riding like really fast and like, you know, like really efficiently and all that. And I was like, I can't get over that, like how inspirational. Anyway, like a few weeks went on and I thought, I want to go on for a ride with him. Like, I want to go on for a ride with him. So I remember looking on the internet and just researching some trails, and the photo come up, and it was Glenn on this photo. And it was a link to his blog, because he writes a blog called Cot68. Is that right?
Aye, Post-Amp Adventures.
Post-Amp Adventures. He still writes them. Fly in the lens. So anyway, Michelle sent him a message on about me, that, you know what I mean, and we arranged to meet, and we've been mates ever since. Me, him and John, the other lad on one of the previous videos. So aye. So it was just amazing. And that was it. Do you know where he lives? I've been tracking him down for like months as well. He lives 2 streets away, and he's lived there for decades.
So I'm just telling Lee, back in the day, there's a place called the Black Path over by South Moor, where I used to live. And we ride up it now, but back in the day, when I was about 3-year-old, I went up there by myself I had a Labrador at the time, and I had my wheelbarrow, and I was collecting coal, and I was going up my nan and granddad's at Kaya. And there's 3 stones at the top of the path, and I'm saying to Lee, they're still there, but they're tiny now because they've all been weathered away. And back in the day, there was no mobile phones. So when my mum's sister, they used to arrange to meet. If she'd been up, say, on a Tuesday, she would say, oh, I'll meet you at the 3 Stones on the Friday at such and such a time. And it was like a family meeting sort of place. Because you couldn't just ring someone up, you know what I mean? They used to have the red pillar boxes, but that was it. They were too expensive back in the day. People couldn't afford them. So yeah, I've got some good memories over there, because my mum scared us with Dickie Dog when I escaped and went up there by myself.
Who was Dickie Dog?
Oh, he was this man that used to live in the coal pits, and he used to catch naughty boys who went up there by themselves.
Straight on. Then it's a bit that gets technical, but it'll be now to you.
So this here is part of what they call the Heritage Trail for South Moor, and there's a few of these signs dotted around, and reading this, there's a 5-mile circular walk, which we've probably done all of the sites. I think there's 8 heritage sites in South Moor and Quaking houses. Unfortunately, vandals has wrecked a lot of the information, but even for somebody that lives locally, it's quite interesting when you're reading about things. So I'm just telling Lee about why the rescue station was here and where the old hospital used to be. The miners used to own all of the land over there where the new houses are. There's loads of pits. I mean, like the billy pit's mentioned. I don't even know where that is. But there was the Kitty, there was Craghead, there was the Charlie. I always associated the Charlie with the brick flats where they used to make the old bricks. And you can kind of see on a few of these pictures that they've got big chimneys like coolant towers. So as a kid I can remember they had this massive coolant, well it was big to me at the time, and it was a big coolant tower and we always called it the Charlie. And I can remember when it got knocked down. Well, I would just be a kid then. But there's some really interesting stuff about local community and how the miners all come together and they used to look after each other, and you know, the welfare hospital. It's just a shame that they don't get looked after. We've probably rode all these routes and haven't noticed a lot of the signs.
Well, I come past here all the time. I've been coming past here for like over 15 years. I've never noticed that.
So my nana, she ended up in the hospital that used to be over here. It was a good little community hospital. It used to offer patients like respite care, and you used to go there for your x-rays at one time. I think that's where I had my first x-ray there when I got diagnosed with my knee. We're here, and you can see where the hospital used to be. And then we know where the RC school is, like St Mary's, which is just behind us here. And then Middles Farm was over that way in what they called the limes. And as a kid, we always called the wood further up the pines. And we used to play there when we were kids. There's so much change. That old building that you can see in this picture is definitely what is Riva Boats now. I mean, Riva Boats has been there as long as I can remember it. But back in the day, that would have been the rescue station. And then I would imagine whoever lived in rescue station house was like the managers or things like that.
Right, that's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed Glenn's Jack and Ori stories of when he was younger and that, and of the local area.
Been getting rung off life for being too posh.
Too posh. No, I noticed when I turned the camera on beforehand, he's like, oh, hey, oh, it was great when I was a kid doing here, it was fantastic. And as soon as I put the camera on, he's like, when I was a child, I used to come down here on my bicycle. Well,
I like to ride my bicycle.
Anyway, that's it. So hopefully Glenn will be telling you more stories, some more nostalgia, and more knowledge of the area, because he's got much more knowledge than me.
I'm going to buy me book.
Aye, aye. If you're interested, I'll put the link down below. So, see you in the next one.